Wake up, America. It's time to talk about smart bands on this next episode of Digest This.
Welcome to Digest This, the show that helps you revolutionize your digestive health. Here are your hosts, Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato.
Hello, and welcome to Digest This. I'm Dr. Liz Cruz, and I've got the beautiful Tina Nunziato sitting right by my side. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're one of our regular listeners, we thank you. We love you that you continue to be on this journey with us. And if you're a first-time listener, welcome. Please check out our podcast. We have over 500 episodes in our library, a lot of great information. We've been doing this for over 10 years. All the information is still pertinent, so please check them out. So let's talk about bands.
Smartwatch bands.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So this is a really interesting article that just came out on these bands that are used for smartwatches, for fitness trackers.
Which are very popular.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I think one good thing is they're helping people get off the couch, right? At
True.
least the fitness trackers, right?
Yeah.
They're motivating people to move,
right?
Which is really good.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But it's just crazy because I think it's an amazing technology. Like Tina just said, it's great for getting people out and about. It's convenient. You can actually, see your text messages and I believe you could see emails. I don't know. We don't have those, but I hear, the staff at the surgical center, the nurses, they're looking at their thing and I believe that they're accessing email that way also, so at least
it's crazy what they could do on a little baby screen.
Yeah. So the technology is just absolutely amazing.
People are tracking their sleep this way.
Yes.
They're tracking their heart rates.
Yeah.
All these things.
Yeah. In fact, our neighbor actually, that's how he discovered that he had an arrhythmia was because of his smart band, his watch. And they were, tracking his heart rate. And that's how he discovered that he had something abnormal. And so, I believe that it probably saved his life.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of wonderful benefits. We ourselves have not succumbed to buying it. In general, we don't typically wear watches. You do sometimes.
I wear my regular watch.
Yeah, I don't typically wear a watch. But definitely great technology, and a lot of people, you see those watches out there a lot more.
And I feel like just in terms of where technology is going, technology is moving so fast.
Yes.
And I feel like there's a lot of push to get as much on this watch as possible since they know that, this watch is connected to people.
Right.
There's been a lot of talk about just all the things they're going to put on this watch for tracking. Even diabetic patients.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that a watch that's attached to you can be monitoring. And I feel like that there's going to be more push to put more and more on these watches to get more and more people to wear them.
Yep, absolutely. So that's, so that's a great thing. I think that it's going to help. It's definitely a lot of great benefits to it. Okay. So not to put a damper on
Never
this.
comes without its downsides.
Exactly. Not to put a damper.
But nothing's ever perfect.
Yeah. The article specifically was addressing the fact that there has been some studies that have been done that there are chemicals in these bands. It's a type of rubber, okay? And there are chemicals that are actually absorbing into the skin. All right. And so that's concerning. That's concerning because these chemicals specifically are called the forever chemicals.
Mm-hmm. The PFAS chemicals.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which there's been a lot of talk about forever chemicals recently, just because we're finding forever chemicals in a lot more things. And these chemicals are called forever chemicals because they don't go away.
Yeah.
They're very difficult to disseminate in the body, but they've found these types of chemicals in food, in water. I know years ago, Biden had put out an order to get the PFAS, the forever chemicals, out of drinking water. So that was a big deal. So there's been a lot of talk about forever chemicals over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, like Tina said, they're in everything. I mean, self-care products, plastics. I mean, they're
bandages,
bandages,
waterproof clothing.
Yeah, even in some of the organic food products, some of the organic lines that are out there. I mean, they are there. And like Tina said, they're called forever because, they stay in the body. I mean, they can be excreted. They can be excreted from your body in urine, in women, in the menstrual period, in the blood, breast milk. So they can be excreted
through breast milk. That's great.
Yes. But by far, they tend to accumulate in the body. And so,
and I think Biden got big on them and getting them out of the drinking water, because there's been a lot of studies that show that the forever chemicals can cause cancer,
right,
that they're causing childhood obesity, things like that. And so there's just trying to figure out every way to avoid these chemicals as much as possible, right? And now they're coming out in our smartwatch bands.
Yeah, they call them endocrine disruptors, these forever chemicals, because they mess with our hormones, and we all have hormones, okay? And so, these young children that are drinking and eating every and anything, they're starting. I mean, these chemicals start to accumulate in their bodies at such a young age, and so it's true. I mean, look. There's chemicals everywhere, when we are bombarded and exposed to toxins, to chemicals on all levels, in the environment, in the foods that we eat, the beverages that we drink, because like what Tina said, I mean, you could be drinking water, we're always pushing for drinking water as opposed to sodas and power energy drinks and, fancy coffees, but now even waters,
the chemicals,
there, you have to be really careful. So it does, I am going to say it does get exhausting, with all this information and being like, okay, what can I eat? What can I drink and still be okay? That's a tough question. It's a tough question because even these chemicals can accumulate like in certain shellfish and certain fish, so, it's just the same thing like with mercury levels in fish. I mean, and we eat a lot of fish. We love fish. We love shellfish. And so, I guess just everything in moderation and just trying to be as careful as you can. And just, this is not to make anyone panic. This is just to make you aware. Okay. Because we didn't know. Yeah. We didn't know. And, we're not wearing these bands ourselves. And it's not because of that, even though now because of that, for sure, we're probably not going to go out and buy these bands, because we're exposed to these chemicals in so many ways that for us, we're just trying to decrease the exposure as much as possible.
Yeah. And just a reminder that your skin is your largest organ and it's going to absorb. So that's what this study was talking about, how typically the forever chemical studies have talked about, absorption through the mouth,
right?
But no one has really studied the absorption through the skin and our exposure on the skin. And when they did this study, they realized that actually it's possible, there's a 60%, 60% of the chemicals can be absorbed through the skin. And these watches, they're primarily, worn here on the wrist, and the chemicals are in there because we sweat, right? And so they put the chemicals on the watch to make sure that it doesn't get absorbed into the watch and ruin the watch. And that's what ends up getting into our skin. And when we sweat, it actually makes us absorb the chemicals even more. So the fact that we're wearing these watches when we're exercising and things like that is even scarier, because that means we're absorbing those chemicals even more.
Yeah.
And then there was another study, or there was another article that talked about the Philadelphia Phillies actually lost 6 baseball players, like retiree baseball players from a long time ago, 6 guys that all died of brain tumors. And they were like, okay, how can this be? Like, the odds of 6 Philadelphia Phillies dying of brain tumors like this, they went and researched and found that there was the forever chemicals in the turf at the field. Like but again, what can you do, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're not going to
yeah.
not be exposed to turf if you're a baseball player, but just know that this is the way the body is being exposed to all these chemicals. And, one of the things that we have to help people detox daily is the delicate detox.
Right.
Because we know how much exposure we're getting to toxins every day. And it is important to try to release those gently every day. And so just yet another way that the protease enzyme therapy that gets into the bloodstream that just breaks down all those chemicals and releases them gently every day can be well, what do I do? Right? If since I am being exposed to all this stuff, I mean, obviously just being aware of it, maybe not wearing the watch all the time,
Right.
maybe just, maybe researching the watch that you're wearing, because not all watches, they said, had this. So they didn't
they studied about 22 different bands.
Yeah.
And they didn't disclose the brand names, but they said that there were about 15 of them that had very high levels. To what Tina is saying also, even in the kitchen, the things that we cook with, the Teflon coated pans tend to have these forever chemicals. So maybe consider stainless steel, glass, cast iron were some of the recommendations. Even the plasticware that we use to store our leftovers. Okay. A lot of that stuff, I mean, you have to be careful, because a lot of that plasticware, Tupperware, they're plastics, and the plastics are a really huge source of these forever chemicals. So maybe get glass containers, and consider slowly switching over to glass containers and using that to store your leftovers and, to take your food to work, or however you're carrying your food, your lunch. So these are just a few different ways. I mean, look, like Tina said, we're going to be exposed to these things. And yes, the skin is one of the biggest ways that we absorb. A lot of times I'll have patients who tell me, and we've talked about this on previous episodes, oh, well, I put this cream, this medicine on my skin, and so it should be fine. And I'm like, look, I just want you to know, when you put it on your skin, it's absorbing, and it absorbs into your body. You can get it into your bloodstream. So it's not like your skin is an iron wall that, you put it on there and nothing's going to get in your body. It is absolutely going to get in your body. Okay. The skin is like the largest organ and absorbs beautifully. So just remember that anything you put on your skin, you're going to absorb whatever chemicals are in there. All right. Anyways, I thought that was a great topic, a great article. Hope that you guys learned something from it. If you have any questions or you want to connect with us, you can find us on our website, drlizcruz.com. You can schedule a free 30-minute wellness consult. There's a button right on the homepage that you can click and schedule the consult. It's done on the phone, so you can do it from anywhere in the world, and that is our gift to you. Connect with us also through our podcast. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And if you haven't rated us, please rate us and please give us a 5. It'll help other people just like you to find us faster. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next podcast.